This is Local 12 News Live at 5.
Breaking news alerts and the hour-by-hour forecast from the Weather Authority. This is Local 12 News.
Good evening, everyone. We are learning more about what happened Friday morning that ended with the death of Cincinnati police officer Sonny Kim.
Kim was shot and killed by Trepierre Hummons in a vicious ambush in Madisonville. Hummons was also shot and killed. We were invited to talk with some of his co-workers, and Local 12 Rich Jaffe has new details and perspective from some of those who knew Officer Kim the very best. Rich?
Rob, it was just the luck of the draw that Sonny Kim caught the Madisonville run. At the same time he arrived on the scene, a probation officer also got there because probation has a substation in that same neighborhood. They also monitor police frequencies. Trepierre Hummons called 911 not once, but twice, trying to draw police to the scene. As Officer Kim pulled up, Hummons' mother was trying to talk him down, but it didn't work. And when the shooting stopped, Hummons' mother called for help over Sonny Kim's radio and tried to keep him alive. Today I spoke with 3 veteran officers who knew Kim well. Outside District 2, a memorial to Sonny Kim tells a tiny part of the story. But the real story is inside the men and women who worked with this fallen hero. He was a
compassionate, giving human being. A man that was working for his community to make the community better.
His lieutenant, Mark Breedy, called Kim a true professional.
You really wouldn't know he was here. He handled things on his own for the most part. He would call you if you needed or needed advice, but he was a veteran officer. He knew how to take care of himself. He had strong tactically. He was in good physical shape, and, you know, he's going to be missed.
These 3 men worked with Sonny Kim for many years. 2 of them knew him since he came on nearly 3 decades ago.
No matter what he did, he strived to be the best. Whether it was in policing, being a father, being an educator and a mentor, he was always to the best, and he rose to the top of all those fields.
Sonny Kim's loss is something all these men and many others take very personally.
Sonny went to do a job, as he does every day, and somebody filled with evil had other intentions to set another person up, another human being up for whatever reason, just because he wore a badge and had a uniform on and stood for the difference this other person didn't agree with.
I'm more responsible for the administration, but also of watching them and talking to them and making sure that they understand how serious this job is and what their requirements are. And they have one requirement for me, that's go home. They go home every night. Failed in this case.
There are currently 3 different investigations going on into the specifics of what happened to Sonny Kim, and there are still many unanswered questions. You can only imagine what the moment was like for these guys when they got the word about what happened, and we will take you there with them coming up at 6. Rob?
Rich, thanks very much. A visitation for Officer Sonny Kim will be held from 2 until 8 Thursday at the Cintas Center. The Fraternal Order of Police will hold special services at 7. Kim's funeral service will be at 11 o'clock on Friday, also at the Cintas Center. Local 12 will bring you live coverage of the solemn ceremony. A procession will follow to Gate of Heaven Cemetery in Montgomery, where Officer Kim will be laid to rest. Mayor John Cranley is asking everyone to wear blue on Friday in memory of Kim.
Trepierre's grandmother says she was thinking about Officer Sonny Kim's 3 sons on Father's Day yesterday. Today, she apologized to them. Unique Rose says she hasn't been a part of Trey's life since he was 6 years old. Rose says she is trying to remember that sweet 6-year-old and not the troubled young man who wanted to die and took a police officer with him.
The only good I could do would be to come here and to speak to the officer's wife, his children, the rest of his family, and to say on behalf of Trey, his family, his grandmother, I am so very sorry. Can't change anything, but that's the only good that I can do, to say, you know what, I'm sorry.
Even though Trey Hummons wanted to die and left goodbye,
Harvest that will make you want to get out and grill. Right now, 6-ounce cartons of fresh Driscoll's raspberries are 4 for $5, and select half-gallons of breaking news alerts and the hour-by-hour forecast from the Weather Authority. This is Local 12 News.
This case did not seemingly fit that profile of suicide by cop.
What does it fit?
Fits more of an ambush type of situation.
Good evening, everyone. More details emerge about what happened before Officer Sonny Kim was killed in the streets of Madisonville. Now, to some, the facts do not fit the suicide by cop scenario.
You see, criminologist Dr. John Wright is nationally known for his research on criminal behavior. He says even though Trepierre Hummons wanted to die on Friday, it appears he was intent on taking a police officer with him.
Trepierre Hummons sent goodbye messages to friends and family, then called the cops about a belligerent gunman in the streets. Him. A probation officer shows up first, but Hummons doesn't pull his gun until Officer Sonny Kim pulls up. Both fire. Sonny falls. Then Hummons, out of bullets, takes the officer's gun and shoots at that probation officer and other cops now on the scene. If he wanted to commit suicide by having a cop shoot him, why all that?
In essence, all he had to do was point his gun or present an immediate threat to the officer. And that is the typical scenario in suicide by cop.
Dr. John Wright says killers who plan murders often leave suicide notes because they don't expect to be taken alive.
The vast majority of incidents where there's a suicide by cop involved a person, typically a male, either charging the police with a knife or using a fake weapon like a BB gun, but I could not find a case where an officer was killed.
15 officers nationwide were killed in ambush assaults last year, the highest since 1995, according to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. Dr. Wright says there is a small segment of America with a deep resentment toward police.
You gain street credibility by acting violently. You gain street cred by getting arrested. You gain street cred by going to prison. Okay? It's an inverted value system, and you gain a lot of street credibility by taking on the police.
Some tweets after the shooting seem to support this, such as this one. Trey Hummons went out like a general.
Street credibility on it doesn't do him any good at all.
Pastor Peterson Mingo works with young men to help them find self-esteem beyond the streets.
I don't have any hope, I don't have any future, so I'm going out and going to take somebody else with me. And that's completely insidious. It goes against everything that we try to teach on the streets.
I'm down here at the police memorial wall. You can see where Officer Kim's name is going to be added, the first name added in 15 years. And down here at the memorial, people are leaving notes to him, they're leaving flowers. It doesn't appear as if they really knew him, but people want to do something. They're stunned by this violence, and this is something they can do. There have been some changes made since this happened. The safety plan that was supposed to go into effect is postponed. I believe it's going to come back altered as everyone steps back and tries to figure out really what does the city need this summer. And now there's talk again bringing back the recruit class in the fall that was already canceled. Rob?
Interesting to hear what this gentleman had to say. All of the emphasis on the subject here, no consideration at all for the police officer and what kind of harm is going to happen to him and his family in taking his life. It's all about the street cred. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It is, and it's not something I'm going to say. It's this level of violence in Cincinnati. We think this is, oh, those cops in New York, this happened to them. I really think that there has to be some soul searching in Cincinnati and really look at what the city needs. Maybe it isn't what we thought it needed, Rob.
Deborah Dixon, thanks very much. Hummons' paternal grandmother apologized to Officer Kim's family today. Unique Lowe says she was thinking about his 3 sons yesterday on Father's Day.
That family, those children, the wife, I can't fathom. So I'm only here to say I am so very sorry.
Lowe called her grandson troubled. She says she hasn't been able to be a part of his life since he was 6 years old, but did not explain why. Lowe said her sympathies extend to the Cincinnati Police Department.
University of Cincinnati President Santa Ono announced today that UC will cover the tuition costs for Officer Sonny Kim's 3 sons if they choose to attend school there. And a fund set up for the family surpassed its goal of raising $100,000. Now, while law enforcement all across the area is trying to cope with his murder, nowhere is that impact felt more than in District 2, where Officer Kim worked for many years. Local 12's Rich Jaffe spoke with some of his colleagues today about their loss, and Rich joins us now from the newsroom with more on that. Rich?
Cammie, Sonny Kim spent most of his 27 years as a police officer working in District 2. Even with this horrible loss, his co-workers continue to protect and serve, to put on their uniforms and badges every day. It's just that now those badges have a black stripe across them, and Sonny Kim's no longer there. Both Captain Jeff Butler and Lieutenant Mark Breedy knew Sonny Kim since the early days. They remember his quiet, caring rise through the ranks. They say he was a consummate professional in person. Tim Pappas worked with Sonny for 4 years. He was on a call-up with the SWAT team when the word went out.
After 29 years, I've been here before. Each one of those incidents, and even before then, because I'm third generation.
Yeah, zero sure feels good. Get a 0% intro APR for 90 days with APRs as low as 2.85.
Yesterday on Father's Day.
That family, those children, the wife.
And a fund set up for the family. 12's Rich.
King's Auto Mall and at kingsporting.com.
And remember, if you that's your business. If you want to pay less, that's our business.
Balancing family and work is challenging enough without worrying about pests.
We needed trustworthy professionals to take care of bugs before they're a problem. We chose Schersinger Pest Control.
Their Guardian Plus program is year-round care and